What's going on, traders? How we doing? Welcome back to, of course, Start Swing Trade. Are you guys excited to get into the action? Looks like my camera fell off right there. Sorry about that, guys. I'm fixing my camera here, guys. Just 1 second. But we'll get right back into the markets. I'll put up the charts for right now as I fix up my camera here, guys. You guys out there, smash the like. Who's ready to get back to the swing trade action? It's been a great day for me, indeed, seeing the SPY get up again. And I just feel like, it's bull markets, man. What do we expect, right? Well, there you guys have it. We're starting to get back up there and starting to climb up here in the SPY. You can see there's kind of some resistance on the 1 hour chart, but there's a kind of like an overwhelming kind of under support here. And you can see that support line kind of holding in right now. And I would definitely kind of keep an eye out on that line to see if it doesn't crack here with tonight's earnings, right? Because tonight we get two of the big boys. Of course, we'll get Microsoft's report. We'll get Google's report. If you guys want to watch the earnings calls, we'll have them right here on Benzinga. So don't go anywhere. Like always, hit that subscribe button down below. If you guys want to keep up with all the major earnings calls, we try to put them out there for you guys. So if you guys see that link in Benzinga, stick around and check out those earnings calls, because last time it felt like Microsoft went down, and then on the earnings call, when it started talking about AI, it went right back up. So just be careful out there. It's going to be wicked movement, of course, when these earnings reports come in here today. Let's take a look at Microsoft and Google right now. Microsoft coming up here towards 350. I thought this set up for a move back to the upside. Let's take a look here. You guys can see Microsoft getting back up there to 350 right now, starting to hold the 9 EMA. This actually looks good going into the earnings today. I do think that, it's tough for me to maybe play the earnings today. I mean, there's some people that will play the earnings for a swing back towards the 361s and 370s. It doesn't seem like a bad outlook, but it's just a little bit too much for me, right? I can't take my shot there. I want to see if we're able to hold 340s on any pullback. If we can hold 340s, I think we'll still be looking good tomorrow. Below 330s is where I get a little bit concerned about the downside really kind of bringing some leak in. We'll see what happens there. This doesn't look like it's getting bearish to me at all. It looks like it's holding the trend. We'll just have to wait till the reports hit. Google, of course, this also looks to me like it's stuck in kind of a little bit of a bullish pattern here, right? And it's trying to hang on, right? And I can see here to the left-hand side, and I'm going to kick out this one in the middle because it's just really not helping me there. And you can see this topping action from the left-hand side is starting to act a little bit as some resistance here to the right. We want to see this start acting as support and really make a move towards 130s. So I think that's what the look is for today. If we get a nice little earnings report, we get through that 130s, we start working our way to what? We start working our way back towards the all-time high. I even drew this box a little while back. We'll see if Google really starts to get going. Where could the downside action? Maybe it fills this gap, but still stays to the positive. If it can recover 116 by open tomorrow, I won't be feeling negative about Google. I'll think it can still go to the upside. And I think that you saw a lot of reaction today in different areas of the market. We're going to talk a little bit more stock rotation today. Then we'll get into my swing trade outlooks and stocks that I took today. I did open some new trades, been trying to take more and more trades, just also limiting the size, right? And I think that's what's been working for me in swing trading. I've had a great year, and I closed a really, really good one today that we'll talk about it coming up. That was on the Moo brokerage. Of course, that was for the small account challenge. And I really love when I nail those small account challenge trades because it pushes me a little bit harder on the small account challenge because I just can't give up any little give on that risk side. So it's fun to stick right to that risk and reward and then take the rewards when we can get them. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at the market today. It was all about basic materials. I've been talking about basic materials for a while now, guys. I think this is very important to catch. I talk about sectors and industry rotation so often, and I get questions all the time on Twitter. I just got a question the other day. Someone was asking me, Mitch, how do you find these trades, right? How do you find these stocks? How do you go looking? Well, I always work backwards, and I think that this is very important to learn, team. And we want to be thinking about stocks in that backwards way, right? What do I mean by backwards? Is that I don't work in a sense where I'm trying to find stocks. I'm always trying to find sectors and industries that could get hot. And then I start working back towards the stocks. That's how I was able to find the energy trade that we just were able to nail pretty much on the upside. I mean, yeah, it kept going today, but am I going to be upset about oil continuing going to the upside? By no means, because I'm here to kind of mention rotation and where you guys can go ahead and catch the edge, right? I can't tell you guys exactly what to trade. Should it have been Valero? Should it have been XOM? Should it have been Oxy? Should it have been Chevron? No, but I pointed to all these types of stocks that you could have that potential move. And now they're looking pretty good here. This is how we go ahead and do what? Actually be able to provide edge. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm Money Mitch. Let's keep going, team. Let's take a look into different areas today. Basic materials is the most important area that I want to point out because now this is really kind of on like a breakout look, right? We can get there towards the highs that we had in 2022's when these stocks were really kind of ripping. And now we're really kind of getting towards that upside. And this does look like it's really starting to break out. One way to play this basic material play is not only necessarily looking at stocks, you could also play the ETFs like XLB. And now we're talking about the select sectors materials area. And look at this right here, XLB looking really good as it starts to take the upside outlook. So this is just one way that I would take it. If you guys want to take a look at some different areas for materials, you can look at the XLB basic materials overall. Copper leading the way to the upside today. FCX really starting to get going. SCCO. You guys know I talk about this as my favorite copper stock. I know a lot of people look at FCX, but I love the way SCCO trades. I talked about this resistance right above towards the 80s. Now we're really starting to break out above this. And I still remember when I called Southern Copper down here below 50s. And I know that there was someone in the chat, I think it was Carmen, that was able to make this trade, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we've been looking at SCCO since that move, and it never went back there, held sideways for about, like, what was this, 6 months, and now continuing on the next step up here. Steel making a nice little move, and I did make a trade in steel that I'll talk about right now in just a second, but really nice trade here today if you guys were able to catch this. This is what I'm talking about. When you go to the leaders and you see a move like this, you guys see all this green here? This is what we want to see when we're looking into an industry, right? So we're talking about steel, and you can start seeing it completely take off. And it's really taken off in the last couple of weeks. It slowly moved, but now what? The daily candles are actually expanding, showing volatility to the upside and showing that they want to get the motors going. So steel pushing hard here. If you guys take a look here, there's a lot of stocks you guys can watch. Nucor, look at this little move here. Nice little trend line break. Gets up there to the 170. Hits it about 2 or 3 times. Now has pulled back. Gives you a couple of wicks to get stopped out because, stocks love to do this. That's why I call wicks tricks, right? Well, look at that little trick here set up. You got multiple lows around the same area. 162.41, 162.50 starts to hold. It retraces today, goes right back to the resistance, 171. This one's looking good. I got back into one called, of course, Steel Dynamics. I recently actually got hit on this one on some downside action. I got this one today at 103.32s. This is already up there towards 105. I'm actually going to be looking for this to get there towards the trend line, up there towards 107. And maybe in the next day or two, it gets up there. We'll keep watch to see what happens here in Steel Dynamics. This is one of my favorites here. And of course, these were all off the heels of a good earnings report from Cleveland Cliff today. So if you guys weren't able to catch that, definitely take a look into their earnings. Nice little up move here in steel, and that's definitely pushing it to the next level. SLX, Jay talking about the steel ETF from VanEck. Not a bad one to mention there, Jay. I like the mention. And definitely look at it. Steel ETF really pushing higher up there towards the 71. And this one's like also on breakout, right? It's not a bad little move here for steel. And what does this show us? I think this is happening because the dollar is coming down. Dollar getting weaker, of course, is going to give these stocks a lift. And also, we're seeing a little bit more of that inflation coming into play. But I think this has more to do with the dollar coming down And I don't think this is going to be like just a huge move in the basic materials, but we can play it for little weeks, maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll see what happens here as these stocks go higher. And there's a lot in here, right? Aluminum going higher today. I also took another trade here. I took one in CENX. Of course, this is Century Aluminum, and I'm actually in the red right now, just slightly. I took this one at 920s. I do want to add this one below nines, but I'm looking for this one to start moving up as I saw Alcoa really get the lift today. And that's what I'm going to continue to watch as Alcoa. I'm going to look for a move back towards like 37 and 38. We'll see if this can actually reverse out of the trend it's been. It's really been on the bottom. And I think that, bigger traders are going after this kind of 33s, really trying to get this going, as you're seeing analysts just keep coming in and downgrading Alcoa. Well, if the analysts are downgrading, and we all know what happens if the price action starts coming up and up, well, the analysts will usually flip, but we needed to get through major levels. So I'd point out weekly levels up there towards kind of this 38, 37.90s level. If we can get back there through that 38, get into 39, we'll be looking really good in CENX. Also, of course, AA has a tendency of leading a little bit. I'll look for CENX to hold the $9 pullbacks on the weekly and make a move to 10, 11, 12. Doesn't seem too bad for me. All right, stay focused, bringing up some interesting talk. We'll get into that talk in just a little bit. Asking me about more banks collapsing and could that potentially happen? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't even necessarily be too concerned with it because we saw what happened to the market when the banks collapse happened. Unless something majorly breaks down, I honestly wouldn't pay too much close attention. But unless you have exposure to those regional banks, right? Because we did see something happen in regional banks today. Let's go to that area. I could still talk more about, industrial metals, minerals, that type of talk. I'm going to get back to a trade that I made today on the Moomoo account. We'll talk a little bit more about metals and minerals there. Let's take a peek at what happened today. What happened today, it looks like PAC-W taking a major hit there as this got mentioned that they could be selling the bank and it could be getting sold to a different bank. And so you're seeing a little bit of a mixed signal here. You're seeing one bank go up, one bank go down. And I think that that's when we got to be very careful, right? Because if we're going to have this up and down move, we could pretty much go nowhere in like the KRE. So that's where you got to definitely be a little bit careful, because this is going to be a little bit of a battle here. And of course, you want to kind of know where the other ones are. This was Bank of California, CTA. What's the ticker here? Bank of Cali. It's BENC. And so you guys can see this one up there to 16 today. And so that got the lift there. And so that's going to help and hurt the KRE. So you can see how the KRE took a down hit on that. And it also took a pop to the upside. And so that's where you got to be a little bit careful with this trade, guys. So I don't want to see anyone get ripped up in the KRE, but I wouldn't be too concerned unless you see like KRE back to like 40, 30s. If you see that happen, then yeah. If you see JPM come off its highs, right? I mean, it could come off its highs, even come back to 150, and I wouldn't be concerned until it gets to like 140. JPM has been just clearing to the upside. Look at Goldman Sachs. These don't look like we should be worried about it. Could we get pullbacks because of this? Yeah. So like today, I wouldn't see it too bad of like maybe even shorting Goldman Sachs off that double top, off that 360 level, and you're looking for it to come back towards the 9 EMA. That's not a bad outlook. But am I saying that this is going to be a worry? Not really. All right, let's keep going. I'll get back towards some of the stocks that I'm looking at here. I did take a really nice trade today that I want to talk about. So let's talk a little bit about that. And it's in a stock that I also have a different swing trade still on. So let's go to CCJ, as I was able to close this swing trade today in Moomoo. Not a bad one, as this one I got there at 32.63s yesterday, and was able to ride this up there towards the 32.60 spot today. So a nice little win there for the account. And I'm looking in a lot of this space, right? We're talking industrial metals and minerals. And take a look at the daily chart as this really starts to push to the upside. I've been looking at this for a while now. I created this on where? I created this on June 8th. I could see some bottoming action happening there. Now I'm really starting to see some strength. And so I'll look for a pullbacks maybe on a day or two. But other than that, I'm going to really be watching this sector and this industry to get hot. So we're talking the industry, and the sector is basic materials. We'll look to see if it can continue hot here. And you saw stocks today kind of get the lift here. So keep your eyes on stocks like that. I've been talking about Rio, BHP. I had one that gave me an alert today earlier, which was tech. This one looks actually pretty interesting. I like this pullback here towards around 43.38s, 43.40s. Right now, we're at 43.69s. If I could get back down there to 43.50s, 43.40s, I wouldn't mind taking a swing on this one. And I have, of course, Valet. And so Valet, I've been holding since the 14 spot, guys. This is not looking too bad as it really starts to kind of get hot. You guys know that this is exactly the type of trade that I like to hold now because I'm in what? I'm in control here now. And that's what it's all about. When you start getting into this position of control where you can see kind of here a head and shoulders and we pushed above that level. Now we can hold above that level. And even if it comes back to that level, we'll be in the green. This calls a position for control. I'm going to stay in this valet position and look for a little push above the 200-day moving average, which is 1528, where it stopped today, to the gap up of 1559. When it gets around the 1560s, 1570s, I will take some off of this and then look for the next move towards around the 1670s or 17. That's where I'm looking for valet. And this one loves to make a little bit of that drive towards resistance, right? Why not come over here towards the trend line, get back up in this space, and we'll see if we can get it all the way up into that pretty much final profit into the 1750s. Even if I get it up there, that would be a monster win. We'll see what happens there in Valet. All right, I do got some other ones on right now, and we can talk a little bit about them. There's another one that I have on that is in the red. We'll talk about that. That's in tech. There was that one that I did get stopped out in. So let's talk a little bit about my swing trading action. One that I get stopped out in today that is actually in the green from where I got stopped out in is Hilton. Hilton, when it made this 148 move, I was in at 149, like 19s. And I set a break even stop out because this was one of those moves where I wanted it to get going. It didn't get going. And so I wanted to hold to a break even stop out. And you guys see it. It's right back up to 151. So I would be in the green with Hilton right now. And that just kind of shows me that maybe I didn't take the right position sizing in Hilton to give it a little bit of a room and let it run for sure. But hey, what I did was I actually went for a different one. I felt like there was another one that I liked a little bit more. So I went after actually Hyatt on this pullback. I really like how it's holding the 9 EMA and has tried to go through 123s, 50s multiple times. Now I'm going to look for a move back above 122, breaking through that 123 and going to 125. We'll see what happens there on Hyatt as this starts to go higher. And of course, this is at the top of the game. So I'm looking for this to drive a little bit more, maybe get up there to 125, 127s, and then take the money and run. This one doesn't look too bad. I got this one today at 120.08. It's at 120.97. Looking good here in Hyatt. All right. And with Hyatt, I was also thinking about, Wyndham, but the only thing I need to see is Marriott stay strong. If Marriott can stay strong, I'll look for this to keep pushing. Can Marriott get me there to 200? If Marriott goes to 200, I think I'll get that move that I'm looking for in Hyatt, where it gets to that 123 and that 125 resistance. Mystery Man taking a little bit of some long strangles on Microsoft. Where'd you put your strikes, Mystery Man? Let me know. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on here. Let's get back to the market. Let's take a look at what stocks are making moves. And of course, I'm talking about my swing trading action right now. So let's talk about the good stuff today, right? Let's get into an area that, most have not really been watching. I think the analysts were watching today when I saw the upgrade of Walmart today. And, some people were like, no way, man, upgrading Walmart in this environment? Yeah. I mean, Walmart's continued higher and gone through the highs here. I think this could keep pushing. We'll see what happens there on Walmart. But it did pull back from the pre-market, right? Now I'm going to look for this to stay strong. I've been looking for Costco to stay strong also. So what have I been going for? I told you guys, BJ, of course, BJ Wholesales Club, as that goes high. Looking for a reversal today to the upside. And what did I do? I doubled down on this position today. I took some at 64.07, bringing my average to 64.13s. Now I'm looking pretty good. Now I love this 64, the way it's holding. I've had a couple of wicks and tested the downside. I took my shot today. Now BJ is starting to go in my favor. As we get to 66, I'll look to take a little bit off. The double that I added, I'll take that profit and then really look to let this get there to 70. That'd be a nice $5 profit for a $1 risk. I'll take that anytime. That's why they call me Money Mitch, baby. Going after, of course, the loss to profit ratio of at least 4-1 or 3-1. That's what I want to get. In this case, 5-1. Not a bad trade. Christine, it's good to see you in the chat. How we doing out there? Got to get after it. It's always about, at the end of the day, trying to get that money. All right, question. Is it possible the numbers are bogus? Can you ask how many accounts ended green yesterday or looked like it today? No way. Yeah, and I think that one of the things that you got to think about is that there's always kind of like this ever rotation in the market, right? And this is why I look at sector and industry rotation, right? I feel like money always has to go somewhere, right? So money always looks to where the sectors are doing well. Like today, very early on live trading, I called out that you were seeing this basic material run, right? With that being mentioned, you could see the money going towards that. You could see the money going to some healthcare. And you could also see some money coming back into technology today. We want to be catching this because at the end of the day, sometimes you're going to be asking yourself, there's no way people could have been green today on that choppy chop trade. Well, the truth is, you just had to have been in the right sector and the right industry. Then you can be in the green. Or you can use those really strong areas of the market to try to make up in positions that are getting hit because of the down rotation in that sector. So there's always waves to the game, right? So technology takes a down wave. You see basics take an up wave. We want to be able to mix into positions, being able to help us get through that down wave in technology by making some money today in maybe like steel or copper or some metals today, right? Well, that's going to give us an ability to stay in the green, even if you have some tough positions. Let's say swing trading some tech names today that were in the red. Like that's going to happen. And you are going to get some trades that go into the red, right? Like today, for me, PXD was one of those. So PXD was a trade that I took yesterday, and I took it a little bit high. What I mean by high, I bought a little bit, like kind of chasing a little bit. And I know when I chase a little bit that that's going to happen. But what can I do? I can always look for some pullback fill, right? And today I was looking for PXD to pull back a little bit. Was that going to be mad that it pulled back? No. I was looking for the pullback. Well, today it pulled back, it held, and it pushed right back above my entry. So now, if anything, in the next day or two, I can use those levels to go off of and add even more to this position so that I'm not in half size, I'm in full size and looking for the move higher. So that's going to happen. You're going to have some positions going the red. Find some ways to go elsewhere, right? So I saw PXD in the red. I didn't freak out. I looked at where the trade's going. I saw steel. I was able to grab steel. I was able to keep my PXD position. And I was able to even buy the dip on a tech stock today. So what did I buy the dip on? Let's talk a little bit about that. I went to technology today and I said, you know what? I'm seeing Microsoft up. I'm seeing Google up. I'm seeing Apple hold on here. If for any means we get a good report, maybe this stays higher. So I went looking for stocks that have lagged and have been kind of sideways in the last couple of months, but could make an up move. So I started looking at Micron here. And why did I look at Micron? Because the daily looked really good. So the daily's been climbing here, this 9 EMA, and holding the pullbacks this whole time. So anytime it pulls back, it holds it. And then I saw the volume jump that happened here. I don't know why this volume jumped here, but that tells me a lot. Somebody wants in on this stock and was able to buy it up there, maybe 65s, maybe 64. And they're looking for the breakout, just like I am, above the 66 level, coming back towards like 67 and 70. So this does not look bad by any means for me. I know my out. If it cuts through this low, 64.34s, I got to be out of here. I took Micron today off 65.92s. So essentially in the red right now. I can add to this position and look for another move higher, but this one doesn't look too bad. I'm going for what? I'm buying the dip on a stock that I expect to maybe come back as we get a little down wave in some of these tech names and then get that up wave right back. We'll see what happens. All right. Christine's talking about some other action there, and I got you. No worries. We can talk a little bit about it. My count's so broad, I hit every sectors. Only a few times have I seen this much of a spread between what the numbers say and what I see. That's important to catch, Christine. So keep looking in there, right? What is holding your portfolio up? What is not? And how can you maybe rebalance to keep yourself going higher, right? That's what we need to be doing is we're keeping a portfolio. So look into it. Take a look. Where is your exposure? Is it too much in growth? Is it too much in value also? Not just what sector and industry they are, but are they value stocks? Are they growth stocks? All questions to be had. Always here for you, Christine. And like always, when you bring great questions, I'm going to try to do my best to speak upon them. Always take everything I say with a couple of grain of salts. Talk about it. Look at it. Maybe get to a financial advisor to talk about these specific things. But like always, what I'm here for is to try to educate you and try to help you think about the right questions. Then you can make those investment decisions. All right, Antonio, you want to take a look at Snap? I got no problem with it. And what the heck happened to sound? Let's find out. HD Tech, smash the like out there. You guys are enjoying it. Darren saying I traded PXD today as well, Mitch. Love that dividend. Ooh. Hey, you hold until you get that cash. I can't blame you. One of the things that I love about PXD, dividend, good looking long-term chart. When I get a good looking long-term chart and I can start playing an industry, I'm thinking energy goes higher. PXD might get even bought out. Who knows what might happen to PXD? But this is a good looking chart. Now I'm feeling good about it. We'll see what happens there on PXD. But shout out to you, Darren. Hey, you saw what you got, and I hope you were able to stay in it and have a nice position there on PXD. We'll see what happens. And if you get out, let me know. Who knows? Maybe you can give me a little bit of a warning sign. But like always, what are we going to be looking for? That reward. What's the next reward? Well, we could look at 225s, but I'm looking a little bit higher closer towards the 229s, 228s. If we can get up there, I'll sell some PXD. That wouldn't be a bad position at all. All right, let's keep going, team. We can talk about some other action there, but definitely technology not looking too bad today, right? I mean, if you look here from the top names, a lot into the green. AVGO going higher, right? It just doesn't seem like stocks want to turn around. If anything, it looks like they want to take the next leg up. And so be careful tonight. I know a lot of people are like betting on both sides. I'm not going to bet on one side or not. I'm going to wait till the earnings reports come out. But what am I anticipating? Because it's just a prediction. And the truth is nobody knows what's going to happen. What I'm anticipating is what I said earlier in the week, that by the end of the week, we talk about the bubble, the AI bubble, right? Because if these stocks can just lift off and push a little bit further, and let's say Google go to all-time high, Microsoft continue to push, right? It's at all-time high right now. Let it continue to push. If this can make it up there to 370s by the end of the week, oh yeah, you're going to be hearing more and more talk about how this bull market is in exuberance mode and straight bubble. But there's nothing wrong with that because the bubble could keep getting bigger. The only thing that we got to keep in mind is that the bubbles always go pop. The only question is no one knows when they go pop. So you have to be looking at things like earnings valuations and how are stocks reacting to earnings. So this is why this earnings season is so important. And Lala saying AI just got started. Yeah, it could have just gotten started, and the bubble could just literally just have begun. So keep your eyes on it. Kevin, what's your asking about thoughts on XOM? We could take a quick little look on energy. I think this is looking really good. I talked about how I wanted to see this hold 105 today. And now that it's starting to hold 105, the key to the left. So the daily to the left is what I'd be looking at, the 724 candle that has a low of 103.96. So hold 104s now. I'm bullish XOM. Below 104s, yeah, you could come back and crack 100 on the downside. So I'd be looking for 104s to hold. Nice little cut through today towards 104.50s. We'll look for this to just start grinding higher. I'd want it to push now back into this trend line and push above towards the 108s if I was bullish on it and got in, let's say today off the 105. It doesn't look too bad, but I want to see a big candle come and take out all this to the left-hand side. If you could take out all this with a nice little big candle going towards 110, yeah, you're going to be looking really bullish in XOM. We'll see what happens there. And Chevron, if it could start making its way back here, it's already holding the pullback right now into this gap. I like how it held that pullback. I wouldn't want to see that gap get hit. That's 160.01. Let's start seeing it push to 165 and that 200-day moving average of 166. Industrials, let's get to industrials. That's GE making another move higher. And this one was just off the 110 yesterday. I was wondering, was it going to break? Was it going to break? No, GE never breaks. It stays in the channel, man. Well, I should have just bet the channel. I should have freaking grabbed some options at freaking like 115 or 116 yesterday when this was going down. I probably would have made a killing. We'll see what happens on that. All right, we'll see what else is going on there, team. This is going to be interesting. GE definitely making the lift there. Industrials staying strong right now. Farm and heavy construction staying strong. Paccar had earnings today. This one was an interesting one. I was even thinking about taking it here off the 85s, but I mean, it didn't really do much. It just went up for a little bit. There's 403, guys. I got to get going. It's already the bell. Google's earnings coming out there. Google with a little bit of a spike here towards 127. Hey, who was talking about potentially we could see the market talking about the AI bubble and that these tech stocks could keep going higher? We'll find out. Microsoft taking a little bit of a leak right now. We'll look to see if that recovers. Take a look at the earnings reports. Catch the recaps by my man Nick Brown, of course, in our Twitter. If you don't have our Twitter, check out at Benzinga, of course. I will see you guys bright and early, of course, on PreMarket Prep. And we do have the book club later today. I need to get ready for the book club. Book club's coming on at 7:30 tonight. If you guys want to tune in, check out, of course, Market Wizards. I'll throw up the link for the book club. We got over 600 members on the book club and growing every single day. So if you guys want to join, go ahead and hit that link. I'll be sending an email with the link to the YouTube right after this, guys. You guys smash the like. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the markets. We'll see if we can stay into the green, and we'll see. I got a lot of trades on right now. It's going to be fun to tune in tomorrow. 8 swing trades on right now. And FOMC meeting, big earnings. Tune in tomorrow to find out how they keep going.